Hey guys, how you going? I may have just come across something, or maybe not. I don't know, I'm not sure. But do you remember the last post? I think it's my video titled What? There's a new post. Do they know we are watching them, I think? Something to that effect. Anyway, what I found was that post there it said Firefly. And I thought about it. And I thought about the fires in Australia and around the world. And then I thought, hang on, look up if there's an Operation Firefly. So I did. So let's read this. Operation Firefly and the 555th. The 555th was formed in November 1943 as an all-black Army paratroop unit at Fort Benning, Georgia, under the command of First Lieutenant James H. Porter. It was expanded to full battalion size November 1944 at Camp Mackall, North Carolina. Mackall. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. In April 1945, the 555th was assigned as a 300-man smoke jumper component of a larger 2,700-person military effort group assigned to Operation Firefly in U.S. Forest Service Regions 1, 4, 5, and 6. Firefly was organized as a massive civilian military effort to combat the expected wildland fire threat from the Japanese balloon bombs, which had been arriving in increasing numbers along the west coast and as far east as Michigan since August 1944. Do you understand what they're saying here? Although it was not public knowledge at the time, there was serious concern by US officials that the balloon bombs would also introduce biological warfare agents into North America. Ooh. In its assigned smoke jumper role, the 555th was based primarily at Pendleton, Oregon, and Chico, California. The 555th also made jumps from other temporary bases during its Firefly assignment, April-October 1945. The 555th made 1,200 jumps and helped suppress 36 fires. The 555th was deactivated on December the 9th, 1947, and most of its remaining personnel were reassigned to the 82nd Airborne Division. The first recorded intercontinental weapons were the more than 9,000 paper balloon bombs launched from the main Japanese island of Honshu from November 1944 through April of 1945. Although 1,000 of these balloons reached North America, only 342 were ever sighted or found. Some of those that reached North America, but are not yet found, could conceivably surprise or injure future discoverers. Although the Japanese Army began experimentation with unmanned balloon-borne weapons as early as 1933, the Japanese military did not actively pursue this program until spring 1942. Military historians believe the surprise air raid on Tokyo, led by Lieutenant Colonel Doolittle, may have been one of the reasons for the Japanese renewed interest in the balloon program, with most of the Japanese military committed to their campaigns in mainland Asia and the South Pacific. The unmanned balloon program was revived as a possible retaliation weapon against North America. The Reborn Army Balloon Program was codenamed FUGO, or FUGO, an acronym which means a wind ship weapon. The Army originally decided to prepare 100 balloons to be launched from submarines a few miles from the North America coast. The Navy refused to tie up submarines to launch Army balloons, resulting in the command decision to launch from the Japanese islands. Although the Japanese had studied high-altitude winds for many years, including their careful application of data from Russian experiments, it was not definitively known in 1942 just what altitude would be best to carry balloons from Japan to North America. Here it should be noted that in 1942, Japanese knowledge of these high-altitude west-to-east winds later became known as the jet stream. It was far more advanced than the Allies. In order to determine the most effective altitude for balloon transport, the Navy launched 40 silk rubber Type B balloons beginning in February 1944. None of these carried weapons, but all carried radiosonde units, which measured air temperature, barometric pressure, etc. 3 of these Navy Type B unarmed weather balloons were eventually recovered in or near North America. From that data, the Japanese determined that the best altitude for balloon transport was 30,000 feet, and the average flight time to North America was about 3 days. This led the Army design of a slightly larger, 10-metre diameter, paper balloon which included both explosive and incendiary devices. The weapons and ballast were carried around the perimeter of a horizontally suspended wagon wheel-like structure which was carried below the body of the paper balloon. The balloon carried enough sandbags so that when they had all dropped, the balloon should be over North America. The barometer device then began to drop 4 incendiaries, one at a time, as it blew generally eastward across North America. The last weapon in the series was an explosive anti-personnel bomb. After all the weapons had been dropped, a small explosive incendiary charge was supposed to destroy the balloon mechanism and paper bag, leaving practically no evidence of its presence. Is that how they're doing it? More than 9,000 of the Army Type A paper balloon weapons were launched from Honshu between November 1944 and April 1945. These balloons were recovered in North America from Alaska to Mexico and as far east as Michigan. 45 were recovered in Oregon, the most in North America. In all, 342 were eventually sighted or recovered in North America. So 342 were found, 9,000 were launched. Is that right? Let me know if I'm not reading that right, guys. I am tired, but I couldn't sleep until it just clicked in my head and I thought, I'm getting up to do this. The intent of the balloon program was to start massive forest fires in North America. However, the timing of the launches from November through April, believed to be the time of the most favourable high-altitude winds, was winter, so the net result was only one recorded fire, ironically caused by a balloon-induced arcing power line at then Supersec Atomic Works at Hanford, Washington. The only World War II fatalities from enemy action on the mainland North America sadly occurred May the 5th, 1945, near Bly, Oregon, when a family encountered one of the explosive bombs from a balloon. The resulting explosion killed 6 people. Why did the Japanese stop their balloon launches in April 1945, just as North America fire season was about to start? A combination of factors. Somehow, the Allied authorities in North America had persuaded the free press not to publish news of the balloon attacks. With a few relatively minor exceptions, there were no published or broadcast accounts of the balloon attacks, which were actually all too well known and of great concern to Allied military and civilian authorities. The Japanese did not believe our authorities could actually silence our free press, and therefore thought no news must mean no significant results from the balloon attacks. Another major factor in the Japanese decision to discontinue the balloon attacks was the damage to Japanese industry from US air raids on Japan. Also, the hydrogen gas needed for the balloon program became scarce due to bomb damage to gas plants. Allied authorities were extremely concerned over the potential for major damage from balloon attacks. The fire potential was to be dealt with in the US through a sizable military supplement known as Operation Firefly to the regular civilian firefighting force, which was much reduced by other wartime demands. So Operation Firefly is the people who are dropped in there to try and put these things out. Is this what this Glam's calling post was about? It had the Australian government in there, it had the US government in there, and it had another government in there as well. Down the bottom, when I clicked on the actual post, date of it, it took me inside. Go watch that video that I was just telling you about. It starts with, what? Because that's what I thought when I seen the post. What? Anyway, I can't explain the video part unless they are coming across the videos that people have been posting about the fires or the... I don't know. I don't know about that bit. All I thought was to look up to see if there's an Operation Firefly. So that's what I've done. Okay, I'll just finish this, and my cat's trying to chew my charge cord. Okay. Perhaps the major Allied concern was for the potential for biological warfare from balloon-borne organisms. Fortunately, this did not occur, but another sizable Allied effort was mounted to monitor potential disease outbreaks. A little known and seldom reported variation on the World War II balloon tactics was a British effort to launch balloon weapons against German-occupied Europe. The British discontinued their balloon attacks when some of the balloons came down in neutral Sweden. Stop eating my cord. Stop, Baba. Sorry, guys. In the end, the Japanese balloon attacks were of little strategic significance. They did offer the potential for widespread damage from fire and biological weapons, and they tied up considerable Allied effort that might have been assigned elsewhere. They were the first intercontinental weapons. So, guys, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if I'm right, and you can let me know what you think down below. Please do, because this involves both fire and glamour calling. If this is the case, if this is what it is, but I don't know. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think, because this was just, I had to get it out there. I just had to. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.